Here's the opening tap to Johnny Cox. Adrian Smith gets the pass driving from Cox to the basket, scoring, and a foul is called on the play. Let's see who the foul is against and if the goal counts. Neither has been signaled yet. Yes, the goal will be good, says the official down along the baseline. The official score, though, did not get the signal. Now he is being signaled that the field goal by Smith will count. So Kentucky takes a very quick 2-0 lead here in the opening seconds. Adrian Smith is on the free throw line. The charity toss is good, and the Cats are in front by 1-0 on a personal foul that goes against Ray Allen. So Georgia is behind 3-0 as they get the ball with Smith dropping in the free throw. 3-0 to score. Goes into the pivot to Inslee, and a jump shot no good over the rim. Hatton takes it off for Kentucky, fakes an outgoing fast break pass that he holds on to it. Brings it into front court, comes in behind Beck, flips her off to Odie Smith, breaks out to the free throw line. A fall-away jumper's no good. Georgia rebounding as it is pulled in by 6'1" Ray Allen, cleaning up the rebounds along the free throw line. He passes into front court to Poss. Right back over to Allen, moving to the right. Smith comes through a screen. He moves down to the baseline and shoots no good. Glances off the rim. Inslee gets it, jumps to shoot, and it's blocked with a jump called. We have played 48 seconds here in Atlanta. Johnny Cox jumping with Inslee. Here's the tap to Georgia. Over on the right, a hook is up and short of the mark by Cabanis. Taken off by Beck of Kentucky. Fed over to Adrian Smith. Moves in free throw line deep to the left. Over to Cox from 15 feet. It's no good. Taken off by Georgia as the rebound is pulled in by 6'4" George Poss. The Georgia guards are 6'4" and 6'5" as they have rebounding strength on the forwards, but in the pivot they surrender 2 inches to Ed Beck. Now a foul has been called against Kentucky's Adrian Smith. The first foul of the game against Kentucky, one on each team, as he fought too hard against Fred Edmondson trying to set a screen down on the left corner. So Edmondson of Georgia on the free throw line for one shot. Georgia scoreless. After 1 minute and 13 seconds, the shot's no good. Rebound taken off by Edmondson, knocks Adrian Smith to the floor, turns and shoots short. Beck rebounds for Kentucky as Georgia, unable to hit here in the early going, is behind 3-0 on 3 points by Smith. He passes down the left to Hatton, and from 20 feet he misses everything. The shot was blocked, deflected slightly by Allen. A rebounding shot by Cox is no good, and then tapped in by Krigler on the right side. Krigler's first field goal puts Kentucky in front 5-0. Up in the front court now, 6'1" Ray Allen of Georgia Tech crisscrosses, gives over to his running mate Edmondson. Down the right side, and a quick jump shot by Poss is short and off the rim to Hatton. Whips it out to Adrian Smith at the Georgia free throw line. He moves over the center court stripe, is attacked, and has the ball knocked away by Edmondson of Georgia. So Kentucky will get it on the left side of the offensive court. Smith out of bounds, gives a bounce pass to Beck. Fakes to take a screen, goes down the baseline, has his shot blocked out of bounds. Kentucky keeps possession. Ed Beck will put it in play to the right of the Kentucky basket. Krigler breaks right, Cox left, pass to Cox, back to Beck. He moves out for a 10-foot hook, and it's no good. Bounces off to the right, and Krigler tries to tap, can't do it. Rebounds and is fouled. This will be the second Georgia foul of the ball game. It goes against Henry Cabanis, the captain. 2 minutes, 20 seconds have been played. Kentucky leads 5-0. Krigler on the free throw line for 2 shots. Or one, it's 1 shot, and it's good. The Cats lead by 6-0 on field goals by Krigler and Smith, and they also have picked up free throws. Georgia goes to the attack now. Edmondson works down the left side to Poss, takes a return pass, moves into the left corner, back up the side to George Poss, and out deep to Allen. Allen breaks to the right, which is the open side of the court right now. Whips one in there that Beck slaps right back away from Cabanis. Then it goes over on the left side to Poss, moves out to the free throw line. Passing deep to Edmondson from 25 feet, he misses. Tapped up, no good by Poss. Rebounding Cabanis shoots good. Henry Cabanis gives Georgia its first point after 2 minutes, 52 seconds, and the score is 6-2. Smith in front court to Krigler on the right side. Back to Smith. Hatton goes through, gets it, comes under, wide open, and hooks it back over his head and in. So Vernon Hatton gets his first field goal, and Kentucky leads by 8-2. Their second 6-point lead. Allen of Georgia in front court has the ball knocked down by Adrian Smith on the floor. 2 Bulldogs and a Wildcat tie-up. It's Johnny Cox of Kentucky at 6'4". He'll move out to jump against Cabanis, who at 6'5" will give Georgia 1-inch advantage, and the Bulldogs want a timeout before the jump, stopping the clock at 16:49 the first half. The score, Kentucky 8, Georgia 2. Here's the scoring. Adrian Smith has 3 points with a field goal and a free throw. And John Krigler, field goal and a free throw for 3 points, as Hatton has the other 2. Georgia has one field goal, that by Henry Cabanis. The scoring started in the first 8 seconds of play when Adrian Smith went in for a field goal on a foul, got the free throw for a 3-0 lead. Then we had a shot by Krigler that was good and fouled with a free throw that brought the score to 6-0 for the Wildcats. Then Cabanis got Georgia's only field goal so far, and Hatton came back with his field goal, and the Wildcats are on top right now at 8-2. Our next action will be Friday night, as tomorrow we move down to Florida, where Friday night we'll be broadcasting over these same Standard Oil stations at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, Kentucky and Florida at Gainesville. Now we're ready for a jump at the Georgia free throw line. The Bulldogs get the tap. It's over to Inslee. He whips down on the baseline, and Poss tries to drive for the basket, can't get in there, pulls up and shoots over Krigler. Good. Poss gets his first field goal and cuts the Kentucky lead back to 4 points at 8-4. Hatton in front court. Shoots a high pivot pass to Beck, who leaps to get it. Outside to Smith, breaks in with a jump shot that's no good. A foul is called on Georgia. The personal goes against Cabanis. Cabanis has his second personal foul. That's the third against the Bulldogs. And Adrian Smith back in the Kentucky free throw line. One shot coming. 16 minutes and 28 seconds here in the first half. Neither team has made a substitute. Here's Smith missing. Beck slaps it high and deep over the head of Smith, who goes to the center court jump circle to pull it in on the bounce. Over to Krigler, back to Smith to Hatton. He's deep, moving to the right. High pivot pass to Beck, back to Hatton in the middle for a 10-footer that's no good. With no rebounding strength, Inslee of Georgia pulls it in. Hatton forces him to pass a high one over to the left side to Fred Edmondson. And Edmondson brings it back in front court for Georgia, throws it into the knees of Ray Allen, who digs it out, passes out deep to Cabanis. Then Georgia sets up its double pivot now, strong to the right. It's down the right side. Bringing it out is Cabanis. Flips one deep to Inslee, over to Allen. Georgia goes into a weave now. It's on the left side to Edmondson. Whips a pivot pass to Inslee, turns to face back at the free throw line, then gives out deep to George Poss. He gives over to Edmondson, moves down the left against Hatton, whips one on the baseline to Inslee. He dribbles it out of bounds, and Kentucky gets it. Fine defensive pressure applied by Ed Beck, playing with the shoulder still heavily taped tonight, the left one. Vernon Hatton, high pass to Beck at the free throw line. Both guards go by. Beck throws it right in there to Georgia, though, under the Kentucky basket, as it is picked up by the Bulldogs' George Poss. So the score stands at 8-4 in favor of Kentucky, trying for their 13th win of the season. Allen to Edmondson of Georgia in front court. Down the left side to George Poss, moves out to the 3-second zone, hooks up from the right side, no good. Georgia gets the rebound as Cabanis gets it off, takes it to the baseline to the left, and here's a foul against Kentucky. It's Johnny Cox, we believe, drawing the personal. It is Cox, and it's his first one. That's the second one against the Wildcats, to compare with 3 of Georgia's personals. It is Cabanis on the free throw line, the Georgia captain shooting 1. 15 minutes and 5 seconds to go in the first half as Cabanis gets the free throw. Georgia pulls within 3 points. Krigler on the right side. Bounce pass to Adrian Smith in the corner, breaks out, flips back to Krigler. Looks under the basket, gives out to Beck over to Hatton on the left side. Moves out, flips to Smith. Top rim of the circle, jump shot's no good. Tapped up no good by Beck, taken off by Georgia. Georgia's got a fast break situation. Here it is to Inslee. Missed the shot, taken off by Allen. He lays it up. It's no good. Cox rebounds for Kentucky. It's knocked away and out of bounds. Goes to Georgia. Putting it in play, 6'5" Bill Inslee, the center. Ensley, passing deep to Fred Edmondson. Edmondson taking it to the left, but staying deep, with Hatton playing him loosely. Down to the right side as Georgia plays 4 men right off that 3-second zone now to Allen, and a jump shot's no good. Slapped up by Cabanis, by Poss, no good. Taken off by Cox, has it knocked away from him again. Picks it up this time. He's knocked to the floor, and Georgia gets it as Allen into the left corner has it knocked down by Krigler, picked up by Adrian Smith. High one in front court to Hatton. Draws him off too far to the left for a shot. Back to Smith, a fake and a pass to Krigler. The shot no good. Taken out by Georgia as Kentucky is unable to hit now with a 8-5 lead. Driving through, Allen throws the ball off the hands of Cabanis and races himself back outside to get it. Down the left side to Poss. Kentucky has scored 8 points in 6 minutes and 20 seconds. Georgia's picked up 5. Here's Allen taking it to the right. With a bounce pass going over to Poss to Cabanis. Jump shot no good. Taken off by Hatton of Kentucky. It's knocked away from him, but picked up by Krigler. That's 3 of the last 4 rebounds Kentucky's had to scrap to hold on to, saving only 2 of them. Here's Smith in front court now, very closely guarded by Edmondson. Gives it over to Hatton. In the pivot to Beck, and a jump shot from 15 feet's good. Ed Beck with his first field goal. All the starters have scored with the exception of Cox now, as Kentucky leads by 10-5. In front court now, Edmondson of Georgia, over to Ray Allen, back to Edmondson, staying deep. Inslee in the pivot, just down the left side of the 3-second zone, has it whipped to him by Edmondson, faces Beck, moves into the 3-second zone and hooks. Beck blocks and takes it right off his fingertips, fires it over to Vernon Hatton. Hatton moving Kentucky back into the front court now. Down the right side, a bounce pass goes to Krigler. He drops it, picks it up, shoots it out to Beck. Here's a 20-foot shot by Beck that's no good. Beautiful tap by Johnny Cox for his first field goal. All Kentucky starters have one field goal. The Cats lead 12-5. Their longest lead of the game. Ray Allen of Georgia back in front court over to Edmondson. Gives to Inslee on the pivot at the free throw line. To Cabanis, jump shot no good. Taken off Krigler on the bounce. He gets a 3-3 break going. Gives to Smitty, wide open. He got it. Adrian Smith coming through with his second field goal. The game's leading scorer with 5 points. And here is a timeout being called by Georgia. It is their second timeout of the ball game with Kentucky in front by 14-5. Well, here's the scoring so far. As we said, Adrian Smith has 5 points to lead. John Krigler has 3, and then Cox, Beck, and Hatton each have 2 on field goals. Georgia is being paced by Henry Cabanis, who has 3 points, and George Poss, who has the other 2, as they trail for the first time by 9 points. Georgia calling timeout when they trailed by 8-2, came back well after the timeout on field goal by Inslee and a free throw by Cabanis on either side of a field goal, free throw rather, by Adrian Smith that was missed. And Georgia pulled to within 8-5 on those 3 points. But now Beck, Cox, and Smith have hit field goals, and Kentucky is on top by 14-5. And we have 12 minutes, 19 seconds in the first half here at Atlanta. Our crowd tonight, we would say, is somewhere near 4,000. In other words, about half full. Georgia has the ball at midcourt as we get ready to go back to play. 6'1", Ray Allen into Fred Edmondson, a 6-foot guard. He whips it into the pivot now. Goes to Cabanis playing out on the free throw line. Bounce pass back to Edmondson, a 1-bounce dribble. Then it goes over on the side to Poss, takes it down to the baseline as Beck switches off on him. Allen goes into the right corner. He shoots a deep one out now to Edmondson. Into the pivot it goes to Cabanis. Hands off to Poss, to Edmondson, breaking through to the left corner, and a foul is called on Kentucky. Smith and Krigler defensively moving in to choke off a pass. Goes on Krigler, his first one. Each team has committed 3 personal fouls after 8 minutes, 5 seconds. Georgia free throw shooters, Fred Edmondson, had 1 try and missed. 14-5, Kentucky leads. Allen is in backcourt and a safety as Edmondson shoots good, cutting the Kentucky lead to 8 points. Here's Krigler, has it knocked off his head by Edmondson and on out of bounds. Kentucky takes it off the right side of the offensive court. Hatton will put it in play. Bounce pass to Beck in the left corner, back to Hatton, starts down the baseline, cut off by Inslee. High pass lobbed up the left side of the court to Beck, who hands it back to Hatton, bringing it out to set it up. Kentucky has the right side of the floor open. Hatton moves down there, tries the back block with Beck, and the ball is knocked right back to Hatton on the floor. Shoots it back to Beck, tips it over to Smith to the right. The shot, no, it's good. Adrian Smith has 3 field goals. Kentucky leads 16-6, their first 10-point advantage. Now it goes into the pivot for Georgia. Moving out to the right side is Poss. Beck moves out on him. Bounce pass goes to Inslee at the baseline. Back to Poss in the right corner. Long bounce pass out front to Edmondson, and from 25 feet he hits. Edmondson has a field goal now. Georgia moves to within 8 points at 16-8. Adrian Smith back in front court for the Cats. Bounce pass to Beck on the pivot. He turns at the free throw line, and a jump shot's no good. Beck moves in, knocks down the rebound, but Georgia's got it. It's pulled in by Henry Cabanis. Hands it over to Allen. As we've come 9 minutes and 10 seconds in this ball game. Georgia holding it out of play now. They have only 1 pivot. That's off to the left of the 3-second zone. They've got the other 4 in a weave. Here's Allen outside, stopping the weave and blasting right down the middle. Smith falls down. He fires to Inslee, who lays it in wide open as Beck tried to come out and help on it. So the score is 16-10. Hatton back in front court on the right side to Krigler. Back to Odie Smith, breaking through to the right. He's charging with it. So that's the 2nd foul on Smith and the 4th one on Kentucky in the 7 that have been called. That is the first offensive foul of the 7. Ten minutes and 27 seconds here in the first half. 6'4" George Poss goes to the free throw line for the Bulldogs. He has 1 try coming. A right-hander, he hits. So Georgia has reeled off 5 straight points to come within 5 at 16-11. Vernon Hatton in front court takes a 20-foot jump shot, and it's no good. Beck slaps it back to Smith. He drops it, picks it up, moves down to the free throw line, flips off to Cox. Here's the jump shot. Good. Johnny Cox with his second field goal of the game puts Kentucky in front by 18-11. Here's Ray Allen of Georgia back in front court. The game being played here in Atlanta on the Georgia Tech campus. Allen giving deep now to Cabanis. Back to Allen as we've got a 3-man weave and a double pivot. The men playing medium pivots on each side of the 3-second zone. Allen breaks to the left. Walks with it, and it's out of bounds to Kentucky. Adrian Smith tried to cut off a pass and forced him to drag the pivot foot. Here it is into Hatton. High one in front court to Cox on the left side. Fakes to break, goes back into the left corner. Deep pass to Hatton. A high one to Beck in the pivot. In the 3-second zone, he gets out, gives to Smith. Jump shot's good at the top rim of the circle by Adrian Smith. He has 4 field goals. Kentucky leads by 20-11. 10.5 minutes gone. Here's a fake by Edmondson. A pass to Inslee. Wide open. He missed the shot, and Beck rebounds for the Cats. Flips a pass up to Johnny Cox. High one in front court to Adrian Smith. Beck wide open, drives in and misses the shot. And Georgia gets the rebound as Cabanis pulls it off. That was a dead trip, too. Here's a beautiful defensive block by Johnny Cox, and it's knocked out of bounds by Adrian Smith on a driving shot by Edmondson of Georgia. Kentucky then not only had Beck open, who missed the crip, but they had Krigler also wide open. Here's Allen in the right corner, missing for Georgia. Krigler knocks it out of bounds. Georgia keeps possession under their own basket. 8 minutes and 50 seconds in the first half. Kentucky 20, Georgia 11. Pass comes into Inslee, outside to Edmondson. Not much demonstration from the crowd so far. Georgia's been no closer than 3 points since Kentucky broke in front 6-0. Jump shot by Inslee, blocked by Cox, taken by Beck. Fired to Hatton. The Cats try to run now. 4-on-2. Hatton at the free throw line from 15 feet. Hits. Vernon Hatton sacks up field goal number 2. Kentucky leads for the first time by 11, 22-11. Georgia back to the attack. Edmondson in front court. Pulls up at the top of the rim on Hatton. Flips behind his back beautifully to Allen, who goes in wide open and lays it in. Ray Allen breaks away from Adrian Smith for his first field goal on a beautiful pass from Edmondson. Georgia trails 22-13. Smith on the left side passes to Beck, back to Smith, goes under driving and misses, but he's fouled on the play. Bill Inslee drawing his first one. Each team's committed 4 personal fouls. Check us, that's 2 on Inslee of Georgia, 2 on Cabanis. 7 minutes, 57 seconds in the first half. Adrian Smith on the Kentucky free throw line. He's hit 1 and missed 1. Shooting 2, first one good. Kentucky leads by 10 points. Smith fouled in the act of shooting. Tries now for his 11th point of the game. No good. Georgia rebounds. It's taken off by Inslee. Passed over to Edmondson. In front court, the pass is over to Poss. Just holding it out of play. Krigler playing him loosely over to Edmondson. Down the right to Inslee. Edmondson goes through. Passes over to Poss on the right side. Bounce pass under the basket to Edmondson. Beautifully behind him to Inslee. Falls away with a shot over Beck that's good. Bill Inslee of Georgia gets field goal number 2. The score, Kentucky 23, Georgia 15. Smith in front court throws it right into the hands of Georgia as Cabanis speeds up to Edmondson, shoots it over to Allen, back to Edmondson, back over to Inslee. He lays it up. No good, rolled off of the rim and out of bounds to Kentucky. Georgia missed a golden opportunity then to move to within 6 points. Hatton in front court for the Wildcats. Down the left side to Cox, out to Smith. He sets, drives down the left, goes for the basket, pulls up, lays it in. 5 feet off to the left. 5 field goals for Odie Smith, who's having one of his best nights in quite a stretch. He's got 12 points. Kentucky with a 10-point edge. Edmondson in front court now for Georgia. Gives over to Allen. Moves down the left side. Inslee moves out for a screen. He gets away and shoots it up no good. Taken off by Georgia, and a hook, good, by Cabanis, his second field goal. Kentucky 25, Georgia 17. 6 minutes, 40 seconds in the first half here in Atlanta. Vernon Hatton back in front court for the Cats. Deep into the left, passes over to Smith, down the right to Krigler, back to Smith. Hatton goes through, back to Cox. He gets a 20-foot jump shot that's good. Johnny Cox has 3 field goals. Kentucky 27, Georgia 17. Cats got 33 points in the first half against Georgia Tech. Ray Allen of Georgia now gives over to Edmondson. They're in a 3-man weave. The other man is Poss, who gets the ball over to Edmondson. Whips a high one in that Cabanis knocks down. Edmondson picks up, moves down the baseline on Hatton, and Hatton takes it away from him. but a charging foul is called on Edmondson after he had made the pass and Hatton had cut it off. He's called for charging. So that is 5 personals on Georgia. 6 minutes, 6 seconds in the first half. Kentucky with a 10-point edge, and Beck will go to the free throw line. Edmondson had the ball stolen by Hatton, but his forward progress brought him too much into contact with Ed Beck under the basket. So Beck's on the free throw line for the first time. He's got one chance, and it's good for his 3rd point. The score is 28-17 as the Cats get their second lead of 11 points. We'll be back with you over these same stations Friday night from Gainesville, where Kentucky plays Florida. 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 7 o'clock Central Time. Georgia playing 3-man weave out deep now as Allen takes it down the right side. Passes up to Poss. Moves down to the right side near the baseline. Hands off to Allen in the right corner. Starts down the baseline with a whistle from the outside. Foul is called on Kentucky. Adrian Smith drawing his 3rd one. 5 personal fouls have been called against each team. 5 minutes and 45 seconds in this ball game. And Earl Atkins comes off with a warm-up jacket to become the first substitute for either team. On the Georgia free throw line, Poss, who hasn't missed, is shooting 1, and it's no good. Tapped outside over his head. It's taken by Edmondson, and from 25 feet, he hits again. Edmondson has 2 field goals along with Ensley and Cabanis, and Georgia moves to within 9 points. Cox out of the left corner takes a jumper, and it's no good. Over the rim and out of bounds. Goes to Kentucky. Opposite George Poss. Earl Atkins sitting at the scorer's table, waiting to get into the game. Ed Beck out of bounds to put it in play. Bounce pass goes to Hatton. Outside to Smith. Breaks out to the free throw line. Flips off to Cox. Passes one beautifully under the basket to Krigler, who's fouled from the rear by Ensley of Georgia. That's 3 fouls on Ensley, so each team's got a man on the floor with 3 personals. That incidentally 6 against Georgia. Smith comes out. He leaves the Kentucky lineup with 12 points, and he's replaced by Earl Atkins, the 24-year-old senior from Ashland, who's 6'4", weighs 180. The number 7 scorer with 61 points, a 6.1 average as Krigler misses the free throw. The rebound is taken by Allen of Georgia. That's Krigler's first miss in 2 tries, incidentally. Kentucky 28, Georgia 19. We're in the first half here at the Tech Coliseum in Atlanta. 5 minutes to go. Jump shot by Allen from 15 feet's no good. Taken off by Cox, and a foul is called against him. So Johnny Cox draws his 2nd foul of the game, and each team's committed 6. Now we're getting our first Georgia substitution as Bill Ensley goes out. Georgia wears high school size numbers, which are very difficult to see at this extreme distance. It's Tidwell, Tidwell, 21-year-old junior from Cartersville, who's 6'5" and weighs 195. Georgia free throw shooter is Cabanis, and it's good. So the score is 28-20. Kentucky leads Georgia here in Atlanta. Earl Atkins at guard now with Vernon Hatton passing into him. Hatton in front court. Down the right side to Krigler. Back to Hatton. Atkins goes through. Back to Cox. 20-foot jump shot. No good off the front of the rim. Georgia goes for the rebound, but Atkins pulls it in. Whips it out to Cox over to Hatton. Hatton moves in, fakes a shot, gets himself clear, and fires good. Vernon Hatton, field goal number 3, as Kentucky's guards have 8 field goals now. 30-20, Kentucky leads. 4.5 minutes in this first half. Edmondson down the left side, gives one to Tidwell. He hands off to Allen. Here it is in the pivot to Tidwell. Jump shot no good. Rebounding Johnny Cox of Kentucky. Looks for a fast break possibility, doesn't see it. Gives over to Earl Atkins, who moves into front court quickly. Passes to Beck on a high pivot at the top rim of the circle. 1 bounce, 2 bounce dribble to the left. He gives to Krigler. Out to Hatton. He's open from 20 feet and hits. Vernon Hatton used the bankboard then for his 4th field goal. Kentucky leads 32-20. Their longest edge as we move into the last 4 minutes of the first half here in Atlanta. Edmondson gets open again from 25 feet, misses this trip, and the Bulldogs get the rebound, though, as Cabanis in the right corner wide open shoots no good. Fighting for it, Cox has got it, taken away from him by Tidwell over on the left side, and a jump shot no good by Allen, and a foul is called on Ed Beck of Kentucky under the Georgia basket. That's the first one on Beck. Now there are 7 on the Wildcats. Henry Cabanis, who's hit 2 for 2, will be shooting. 3 minutes, 41 seconds in the first half. Another Georgia substitute. Looks like Don Hartsfield coming into the lineup. It is, replacing Ray Allen. Hartsfield, a 21-year-old senior from here in Atlanta, is 6 feet tall and weighs 165 pounds. The bonus rule in effect against Kentucky now. It will be on the next personal also against Georgia. The free throw, no good. Rebound taken, though, by Georgia, and a hook, no good by Poss. Rebounding Beck is fouled, this time himself under the basket, and we've got a jump situation. Beck will be jumping with Cabanis and have 2 inches height advantage for Kentucky. We thought they'd call the foul then. Atkins kicks it out of bounds, and Georgia gets possession on the right side. 3.5 minutes to play. Edmondson on the right side for the Bulldogs. Passes out deep to Hartsfield. He's the second Bulldog change in the lineup. Down the left side to Poss, 2-bounce dribble. Hands off to Tidwell. Down the left corner to Hartsfield. Breaks for the basket on Atkins. Hands off to Tidwell. Tidwell fakes, breaks in on Krigler. Jump shot short as it's blocked by Krigler, taken off by Cox. Fed over to Krieg, who moves it up into front court for the Wildcats. Pulls up at the free throw line, gives to Beck. Passes very deep to Earl Atkins. Right side to Krigler, back to Atkins. Outside pass to Johnny Cox. Moves to the left, can't get his screen over to Hatton. Back to Cox, back to Hatton. Moving to the right, he gets wide open and lays it up and in. Vernon Hatton has 5 field goals, along with Adrian Smith, and Kentucky leads 34-20, their longest edge, 2 minutes, 40 seconds here in the first half. Now here's a pass down the right side from Hartsfield, and as he breaks for the basket, he's fouled by Earl Atkins. Personal foul on Atkins is his first one. Bonus rule applies. Tidwell is on the Georgia free throw line for the first time. 6'5" junior will take one. 34-20 in favor of the Wildcats. Georgia's missed 3 while hitting 4 as a team at the free throw line. This shot's good. And this will be our first bonus try. Against Georgia Tech here Monday night, Kentucky didn't get a bonus free throw. In the first half, they had 3 chances and missed them all. Bonus shot's also good by Tidwell. Kentucky's lead trimmed to 12 points now. Here's Hatton in front court, handing off to Beck, taking a return pass over to Atkins, down the left side to Cox, and back to Atkins, who breaks in. Wide open in his foul as he jumps to shoot and misses. Charging on Earl Atkins is the call, his second straight personal foul. So 2 minutes and 25 seconds now remain for the first half. Georgia shooter is George Poss, who is 1 for 1. Bonus rule in effect. Poss shoots and misses. Rebounding Johnny Cox of Kentucky over to Vernon Hatton. He moves it up into front court for the Wildcats, takes it right side, flips to Krigler, takes a 20-footer that's no good. Tapped up by Atkins to the outside. Beck finally gets it, and he's fouled by Hartsfield of Georgia, drawing his first one. They announced that one on Poss, so take it away from Hartsfield as Cabanis comes out of the Georgia lineup. Inslee is back in, and Beck's on the free throw line. Shooting 1. Shot's good. He gets the bonus shot. Beck has 4 points. Kentucky leads by 13. 2 minutes and 15 seconds in the first half. Beck hits the bonus free throw. Kentucky 36, Georgia 22. Cats equaling their previous lead of 14 points. Up in the front court now. Edmondson whips to the pivot to Inslee, breaks by. Inslee takes a 1-bounce dribble and passes deep to Hartsfield. He moves to the right, comes down the side against Atkins, turns, passes out to Poss, who takes it into the right corner against Atkins on a switch. High, deep pass goes to Edmondson down the left side to Inslee. No screen available there. Hatton knocks the ball outside where Hartsfield of Georgia picks it up. Moves to the right. Picked up by Cox on a switch, turns, falls away with a shot that's no good. Cox pulls in the rebound and drops it out of bounds. Nobody near Johnny Cox as he took the rebound, dropped it out of bounds to Georgia. 36-22 in favor of the Wildcats. Bounce pass comes into Hartsfield. He fakes, breaks out. Cox cuts him off in the 3-second zone, just inside the free throw line. Here's a jump shot, no good by Poss, taken off by Beck, fed out to Atkins. Kentucky running, 3-3. Cox and Hatton. It's over to Cox on the left side, a 1-bounce dribble and a hook. Good. Johnny Cox has 4 field goals, and Kentucky leads 38-22. Cats have their longest lead of the ball game right at this point, 16. As Hartsfield of Georgia gives over to Tidwell, they play 3 out, 2 in. The 2 men playing just off the 3-second zone. Pass goes to Inslee on the left side. He turns, drives into the 3-second zone, gives out to Poss. Bounce back to Inslee, breaks into the 3-second zone, and walks with it as Beck kept the defensive pressure on him beautifully, forcing him to walk. 48 seconds now in the first half. Kentucky's in front 38-22, striving for conference win number 6. Chance to move 1 win ahead of Georgia Tech, which tied them up here Monday night. Here's a foul, walking called by Hatton, out of bounds to Georgia. The incoming pass taken by Don Hartsfield with 30 seconds now to go in the first half. Here's a jump shot by Tidwell from 20 feet. Missed the rim of the basket, off the boards to the right, and Inslee with a hook gets it. Inslee leads Georgia with 3 field goals. Kentucky 38, Georgia 24. Earl Atkins back in front court for the Wildcats. Passes high to Beck. Gives over to Vernon Hatton, moving to the right with 10 seconds in the first half. Back to Cox, takes 20-foot jump shot. No good. Tapped up, no good by Krigler. Taken off by Inslee of Georgia. 3 seconds to go. Hartsfield got a man wide open, and Tidwell lays it up. Good. Let's see if they rule it good. They move right to the scores table to ask about it. Tidwell laid it in. Close. No good. They nullify it. Tidwell seemed to take off just as the horn sounded. And so the score remains 14 points in favor of Kentucky, and at halftime, it is Kentucky 38, Georgia 24. Here's the individual scoring for Kentucky, being paced by Adrian Smith with 12 points, 5 field goals, and 2 for 4 at the free throw line. 10 points by Vernon Hatton on 5 field goals. 8 points for Johnny Cox on 4 field goals. 5 points for Ed Beck, a field goal and 3 free throws, and 3 points for John Krigler, a field goal and 1 for 2 at the free throw line. And Earl Atkins, the only substitute, has not scored. For Georgia, their top man is Bill Inslee with 6 points on 3 field goals, and Henry Cabanis with 6 points on 2 field goals and 2 for 3 at the free throw line. Fred Edmondson has 5 points on 2 field goals and 1 for 2 free throw shooting. We have 3 points for George Poss on a field goal and 1 out of 3 on the free throw line. 2 points for substitute Earl Tidwell on a pair of free throws, and Ray Allen 2 points on a field goal. Don Hartsfield, another Georgia substitute, did not score a point in his relief role. So the halftime margin, 14 points for the Wildcats, who had it at one time by 16 points. Halftime is Kentucky 38, Georgia 24. Takes the offensive basket off to our right. It's over to Smith, to Hatton, down the left side to Cox. Fakes to come out with it. Breaks by Inslee and misses as the shot is blocked from the rear by Inslee of Georgia. And the Bulldogs have it as Ray Allen picks it up and moves it into front court. Hartsfield is the guard with Ray Allen. And over to Edmondson, as Georgia right now has 3 guards in this starting lineup. They're playing Poss and Inslee down as a double pivot off each side of the 3-second zone. Here's Allen breaking out, pumping one in that Beck knocks down, feeds over the head of Adrian Smith. He saves. He goes 1 against 2, stops to the right, tries one to Krigler that's taken away by Poss of Georgia. So 2 Kentucky passes have failed to net a point. Now here's Allen from the left, rims around and comes out, and Inslee misses a tap, and Georgia gets it again, is picked up outside deep by Ray Allen. Bounce pass to Poss. Krigler knocks it away from Allen, breaking for the basket and out of bounds. Georgia has it to the left of the basket over the baseline. Inslee will put it in play. 1 minute gone, no score in the second half. Kentucky maintaining its 14-point edge. Bulldogs setting it up now with Hartsfield and Edmondson working it back and forth, and now the third guard comes out front. Georgia playing 3 guards straight across deep, and both pivots now get out of there, clearing the middle. And they go into a weave, breaking down the left side to the baseline. Hartsfield shoots one back out to Edmondson. Whips into the double pivot to Inslee, falls away from Beck and misses. Knocked down by Johnny Cox. It's on the floor, picked up by Georgia as Edmondson breaks in against Hatton, flips it under his arms and misses, and Beck gets the rebound for Kentucky. Up to Smith. Kentucky wants to run. Here it is to Krigler, drops the ball, fights and gets it over into the left corner, passes deep to Beck, over to Cox, wide open from 20 feet. He missed it on a jump shot. Slapped up by Hatton, by Beck, by Hatton, by Beck. Went in, came out. Tapped up by Krigler, no good. Taken off by Cox, a hook, no good. Beck rebounds, a one-bounce dribble. He has a hook, blocked, picked up outside by Adrian Smith. Moves left, screened by Beck, jump shot no good by Smith. Yo-yo rebound, right back to Inslee. Got a man wide open, Edmondson. He throws it into his feet, beautifully behind his back to Allen, who missed the dead crip shot. Now we've got a rebound by Adrian Smith, a 2-2 situation with Hatton, who takes it into the right corner, fakes, turns his back to Hartsfield, drops the ball. Cox gets it, knocked away. He picks it up, throws it out to Hatton, to Beck, over and back, and Georgia takes over. No scoring in the second half after a minute 2:20. Now here is Allen in front court for the Bulldogs to Edmondson. Straight away, 30 feet. Gives in, a fake to the basket by Poss, comes back with a hook that's good. And so it's Cabanis, Checkers on it, that gets the field goal, his third. and a timeout is called for by Kentucky. It is their first timeout of the ball game, comes after 2 minutes and 35 seconds have elapsed, and the score is Kentucky 38, Georgia 26. Coach Adolph Rupp detected something in the play of the Wildcats that he wanted to move into and very quickly straighten up as the Cats have called their first timeout of the game here. We'll be back with you Friday night over these same Standard Oil stations as we move down to Florida, where Kentucky plays the Gators in Gainesville Friday night, and broadcast time will be 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 7 o'clock Central Time. We're here in Atlanta tonight for this Kentucky-Georgia ball game, which has 17 minutes and 25 seconds yet to go. Kentucky holding a 12-point edge. After 2:35 of the second half, only the field goal by Cabanis has been registered to disturb our 38-24 halftime score. Kentucky, which called the timeout, is ready to go back to play with possession at midcourt. Adrian Smith will put it in play. Odie is out of bounds on the far side of the court, passing into Hatton in the center court jump circle. He moves in quickly, working right side to Krigler, who breaks out and from 15 feet misses. It comes off to Georgia. Rebound taken in by Edmondson. Breaks quickly in front court. Pass wide open to Inslee, and he lays it in driving. So Inslee with his fourth field goal, and Georgia's within 10 points at 38-28. The Bulldogs having outscored Kentucky 4-0 in the second half. It's over to Cox. Knocked down from him. He picks it up, feeds deep to Hatton. Pass in the pivot goes to Beck. He hands off to Adrian Smith, out to Krigler, and from 20 feet, he misses. Rebounding Georgia as Inslee knocks it over to Allen. They've got a 2-on-1 on Adrian Smith, who hits the floor under the basket, and a foul is called on Georgia's Fred Chekas. Adrian Smith is called for the personal, and he's got 4 of them. So, like it was here Monday night, Kentucky opens up, getting into trouble as Adrian Smith commits his 4th foul. Earl Atkins comes off the Kentucky bench. The fireman came into action in the first half of play, now being waved back quickly after only 3 minutes and 12 seconds of the second half for Adrian Smith, who's been one Wildcat that's been hitting well. He leads Kentucky scoring with 12 points. Well, Edmondson goes free throw shooting. He has hit 1, missed 1. Has 1 coming, and it's no good. Tap back out. Georgia's got it. As it's knocked down to the left side to Edmondson, in the left corner to Allen. Breaks out for the basket and shoots. No good. Drops off, and Beck has the rebound taken away from him by Inslee of Georgia. Falls away and hits. So Inslee, with his 5th field goal of the game, pulls Georgia within 8 points, as Kentucky has been outscored 6-0. Once again, they are in second half trouble here in Atlanta. Beck is on the pivot with it. Off the left side to Cox, out deep to Atkins. He breaks down the right side, double team, pulls up. Passes out deep. And now a foul is called on the pass by Edmondson, who was coming into Atkins a little too hard from the rear defensively, and it's his 2nd personal, and each team has drawn 1 for the second half. 16 minutes and 9 seconds in the ball game as Earl Atkins makes his first appearance at the free throw line. 1 shot coming and an 8-point Kentucky lead. Cats have come 3 minutes 51 seconds without a point, and Atkins breaks the drought with a free throw. His first point of the game. 6 Cats have scored for a 39-30 lead over Georgia. In front court, Edmondson gets away from Hatton, cut off by Beck, gives under the basket to Cabanis, and Atkins knocks it out of bounds on an attempted pass to Hartsfield. To the left of the basket, Cabanis passes into Hartsfield in the corner. He moves up the left side, passing out to Edmondson. Edmondson breaks in on Hatton. Cox switches over on a screen, passes back to Cabanis, out to Hartsfield. He backs away from Atkins now. And the 3 Georgia guards bring it out, and Edmondson shoots. Good again from 25 feet. Edmondson gets his 3rd field goal to pull Georgia within 7 points. Here it is to Cox in the left corner. Passes back to Atkins. Fakes a shot on Edmondson. Clears himself, gives to Beck. He's open at 15 feet, but gives wide open to Krigler under the basket, who missed the shot. And the ball goes out of bounds to Kentucky in front of the Georgia bench. Kentucky has played this second half 4 minutes 50 seconds without a field goal. Beck will put it in play over the baseline to the left of the basket. Passes into Johnny Cox in the left corner. 1 bounce dribble and a jump shot, no good. Taken off by Georgia, and a foul by Ed Beck. Is the second one on Beck. And the second one on Kentucky for the second half of play. Kentucky still looking for its first field goal of the second half, and we've played exactly 5 minutes. Moving up to the free throw line is the Georgia captain, Henry Cabanis. He's hit 2 out of 3, got 1 coming. A right-hander, he shoots good. And Georgia now trails by only 6 points as they have cut the Kentucky lead in half. from where it was at halftime. It's on the left side to Cox, back to Hatton. Hartsfield tried to cut off, missed it. Hatton backs away to set it up again. Most to the left, gives to Earl Atkins. Down the right side to Krigler. Hatton moves in, passes in the pivot to Beck, back to Krigler, breaking for the basket, cut off by Inslee. He comes back in and lays it in. So John Krigler with his second field goal, as Kentucky went 5.5 minutes without a field goal here in the second half. The score is 41-33 for Kentucky. Down the right side, it goes to Inslee off the pivot. He gives over, and breaking for the basket, laying it in, is Don Hartsfield, his first field goal. 41-35, and here's the ball knocked out of bounds away from Krigler by Ray Allen of Georgia on the right side of the Kentucky offensive court. Hatton, who made the long leading pass, will put it in play. Slaps the ball, passes deep to Atkins, trying to steal. Edmondson fails. Atkins feeds back in the pivot at the free throw line on the left side to Cox. He gets his jump shot, no good. Knocked up into the air. Georgia's got it, and a foul is called on Beck of Kentucky. It's the third foul on Beck, the third foul on Kentucky in the second half. And Georgia has moved within 6 points of the Wildcats, having a chance now to cut it to 5. The Bulldogs are battling back, battling hard as Cabaniss goes to the free throw line. He's hit 3 for 4, shoots 1. The free throw's good. And now Georgia trails by just 5 points, 41-36. Kentucky had a 14-point lead at the half. Atkins goes all the way and lays it in. A two-handed shot from right out in front. Earl Atkins has his first field goal to put Kentucky in front 43-36. Up in front court is Allen to Don Hartsfield, and from 15 feet he misses. Knocked down on the side, it's taken off by Krigler of Kentucky. Allen hawking him for it. He pivots, gives over to Beck, back to Krigler, who moves it in front court with a pass to Atkins. Atkins sets it up, giving to Hatton to his left. Down the left side to Cox. A weave, a fake, and an outside pass to Atkins. Set shot, good. So Earl Atkins picks up 5 points here in the second half to pace Kentucky into a 45-36 lead, and Georgia takes timeout number 3. 13 minutes and 19 seconds to play here in Atlanta. Kentucky holds a 9-point edge as Georgia has outscored them by 5 at this point of the second half. The Wildcats had a lead of 38-24. They've been helped by Earl Atkins. Of their 7 points, Atkins has scored 5, and he, in a fireman's role for Adrian Smith in the first half, was shut out. Kentucky still being paced by Adrian Smith. He has 12 points, but is out of the game with 4 personals right now. Beck is in the game with 3. Cox and Atkins each have 2, and Krigler 1. Georgia has Inslee with 3. Cabaniss and Edmondson each have 2, and Poss 1. Georgia's committed only 1 personal, though, in the second half. Another reminder that it's Kentucky and Florida Friday night here on these same stations at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. The game being played in Gainesville. As we go back to play here in Atlanta, it's Georgia's ball under the Kentucky basket. They trail by 9 points after pulling within 5. 41-36. Atkins hit 2 field goals. Now we're back to play. Hartsfield moves it in front court. Georgia playing 3 guards outside and 2 pivots. Now it's off the left side to Edmondson. He takes the outside shot high, and it's short this time, and Johnny Cox rebounds for Kentucky. Fires to Krigler, breaking 3-3 in front court. Gives right side to Hatton, who takes a 10-footer that's good. So Vernon Hatton with his 6th field goal. He leads in that department. And Kentucky leads 47-36. Here's a cutoff by Krigler to Hatton in front court to Atkins. 2-2. Atkins from 10 feet hits again. Earl Atkins with 3 field goals. And the Cats lead by 49-36 with 12 minutes 40 seconds to play. Georgia, within 5 points, has seen Atkins come through with 7 points. Here's a hook by Inslee of Georgia that's good. And Inslee has 6 field goals to match Hatton. 49-38, Kentucky leads. Earl Atkins in front court works the left side with a pass to Cox. He gives a bounce pass to Hatton just to the left of the basket. He gives one to Beck at the free throw line. The shot's no good. Beautiful tap by Atkins, rolls off the rim on the floor, and is picked up by Georgia. High, leading pass up the way to Edmondson. He goes 1-1 on Atkins, and hooks good. Edmondson of Georgia with his 4th field goal pulls the Bulldogs within 9 points. It's 49-40. Hatton in front court, down the left side to Johnny Cox, out to Atkins. He sets from 25 feet. It's no good. Short, taken off by Inslee of Georgia. The Bulldogs are running 2-on-1 against Atkins. Here's the shot, good, by Ray Allen of Georgia, and it is his 2nd field goal. A timeout has been taken by Kentucky. Their 2nd timeout of the ball game. with the score Kentucky 49, Georgia 42. 11 minutes, 40 seconds to go. And before we go back to play, let's take 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Standard Oil Sports Network.
WVLK, Lexington, Kentucky. The time in 30 seconds, 9 o'clock.
Well, here at the Coliseum in Atlanta, Georgia, the Bulldogs have shown that they have the battling qualities for which they're known. They trail Kentucky by 14 points at the half, and they now trail by just a margin of 7. They pulled to within 5 at 41-36, and then Kentucky's Earl Atkins went to work with 7 points, helped with a field goal by Hatton, was able to move on out in front by a score of 49-36 rather. Now we have seen Georgia come back with 3 quick field goals on the fast break. Kentucky seems to be going flat once again. They are not getting the rebounds as they did in the first half. No change made in the lineup as Kentucky takes over at the baseline in backcourt with Atkins passing to Hatton, right back to Atkins. The Wildcats go to work. Beck comes out to play the pivot at the free throw line. It's off the left side to Cox, back to Atkins, out to Krigler, who takes a 20-foot jump shot, no good. Tapped by Beck, no good. By Krigler, no good. It's on the floor and out of bounds to Kentucky. 49-42 the score. Beck put it in play to the left of the basket over the baseline. Cats line up 4 abreast at the free throw line. The pass is out deep, taken by Atkins, flipped behind him to Hatton. Who moves it to the right side, calls Cox out and off a screen. Hatton shoots, good. Vernon Hatton going to his individual move to pick up the 7th field goal of the game and lead in that department. Cats lead by 9 points. Here's a break all the way, missing the shot, and Cabanis misses the tap behind the shot by Edmondson. Cox gets the rebound over to Krigler. He brings it on into front court to the top of the circle, takes it to the right, loses the ball at the baseline, but recovers. Throws one into the feet of Hatton. He gets it out to Atkins to Beck in the pivot, out to Hatton down the right to Krigler, who takes the shot, and it's blocked beautifully, taken away by Ray Allen of Georgia. Passing it over to Hartsfield. It brings the Bulldogs back into front court. He takes it down the right side, gets a screen, Beck switches off. It's over to Edmondson in the right corner. He hands off to Hartsfield. Bounce pass goes in, and a hook shot by Inslee is no good. Bounces off of the rim. Taken by Georgia, though, as Hartsfield pulls it into the left side. Gives to Cabanis, a one-bounce dribble at the right corner. Back outside to Hartsfield, under the basket. Inslee lays it in. Inslee matches the 7 field goals of Vernon Hatton, and Georgia is back to within 7 points, 51-44. Krigler takes it down the right side for Kentucky, passes deep to Atkins. In the pivot, it goes to Beck. He's fouled from the rear as Georgia's center, 6'5", Henry Cabanis, draws the personal, his 3rd one, and the 2nd one on Georgia in this half. Ed Beck is on the free throw line. He got 5 points in the first half, hasn't scored this half, shoots, hits. So the score stands Kentucky 52, Georgia 44 with 10 minutes to go. Up into front court, Hartsfield whips to the pivot. Cabanis fires a hook shot that's no good. The rebound taken by Cox of Kentucky. Fired over to Krigler. Kentucky's got a 3-2 fast break. Krigler pulls up at the free throw line, passes out to Beck off the left side to Atkins, fakes a set shot, goes by Cabanis wide open, but they nullify the dead crip shot by Atkins as Cabanis committed the foul out in court. It's his 4th one, and each team has now committed 3 personal fouls in the second half of play. Atkins will go to the Kentucky free throw line for 1 shot. Kentucky has Adrian Smith on the bench with 4 personals. Georgia has Cabanis, their captain in the game, with 4. Here's Atkins shooting and hitting to put the Cats in front by 53-44. Kentucky had a lead of 14 points to start this half with, but a run of 6 points by Georgia, and the Cats have never been able to build it back up. Here's Krigler blocking a shot on Edmondson, firing over to Beck and up to Cox, moving in front court. Stops out deep, passes to Krigler, just moving into front court, down the right to Atkins. He fakes a set shot, draws Ray Allen off his feet, and Allen falls up into him, committing his first foul of the game. Now Georgia bringing in a change. Coming out is Cabanis with those 4 personals, and he's being replaced by George Poss. Georgia loses only 1-inch height advantage on the change. Atkins stands in at the Kentucky free throw line on that 4th personal foul by Georgia in this half. 9 minutes and 25 seconds to play here in Atlanta as Atkins hits. He has picked up 9 points in this half for Kentucky. 54-44 in favor of the Wildcats. Into front court, Edmondson fakes, can't get away from Hatton. Stopped out deep, he gives over to Allen. Moving to the left side, 15-foot jump shot's no good. Beck tries to tap it to the outside. He does get it out there to Atkins, who gets away and is fouled by Ray Allen, who tried to run around him and didn't have room. Committed his second straight foul on Atkins. And Georgia has committed 5 in the second half with 9 minutes, 9 seconds to go. Earl Atkins goes back to the free throw line. One shot coming. Foul occurred right in the center of the court. Kentucky with a 10-point edge. Georgia has been within 5 points on 2 occasions this second half. Atkins hits his 4th straight free throw, and he's in double figures, along with Smith and Hatton. Up in the front court, Georgia's Edmondson breaks for the basket. Here's a foul on Kentucky. This time it's Vernon Hatton, we believe, drawing the personal as he tried to fight through a screen. Hatton's first foul of the ball game. Kentucky has committed 4 now in the second half. It's Ray Allen for the first time at the Georgia free throw line. He missed his chance. Cox gets the rebound for Kentucky, passes into the center court to Earl Atkins, brings it to the free throw line, knocked to the floor, and out of bounds. The ball goes to Georgia. Edmondson cocks that arm for a fast break pass, doesn't find it, gives into Hartsfield, who moves into front court. Cuts to the left, breaks to the top rim of the circle, takes Atkins to the right side, and Beck switches off. Outside pass to Edmondson. Down the left side it goes to Poss. He fakes to Hartsfield, moves to the left, 15-foot jump shot's no good. Slapped up by Cabanis, no good, by Inslee, no good, and taken off by Beck, by Krigler, as Atkins lost his glasses. He adjusts them while Beck dribbles the ball for him and then hands over to him. Atkins moves over the center stripe, flips it to Hatton. Down the right side to Krigler, fakes, breaks on Allen to the right, shoots a pass over to Cox. He moves into the right corner, passes out deep to Atkins. He shoots one to Beck on the pivot, and a 15-foot hook is good. Beautiful coming away from the basket hook shot by Beck. He has 2 field goals now and 8 points. It is 57-44 Kentucky. Pass into the Georgia pivot to Inslee, whipped outside to Allen from 20 feet. He misses. Off with it is Hatton on the bounce at the free throw line. Shoots to Krigler at midcourt. Kentucky's got 3 against 4. Hatton takes it on the right side to Cox, takes it to the baseline, comes away and drives good. Johnny Cox beautifully for his 5th field goal, and he is in double figures as timeout is called by Georgia. Timeout number 4 by the Bulldogs. They stop the clock at 7 minutes and 46 seconds of this ball game here in Atlanta on the Georgia Tech campus. A lot of empty seats here tonight. The crowd would number about 4,000, about what Mr. Howell Hollis, the Georgia business manager of athletics, said it would be this afternoon. Kentucky leads by 15 points at this point, or their lead at the moment is 1 better than it was at halftime. So Kentucky has had trouble in the second half, just as they did here Monday night. They let Georgia come to within 5 points on 2 occasions in the second half after bringing a 14-point edge into it with them. 38-24, now it's 59-44. Georgia has been outscored by just 1 point in over 12 minutes, 12-14 to be exact. Friday night, 8 o'clock is broadcast time over these same stations. Friday night we'll be down in Florida broadcasting the Gator Wildcat battle at Gainesville, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Georgia goes back to the attack now. Edmondson passes in backcourt to Don Hartsfield. He's a substitute, incidentally, who started the second half, though. Here it is over to Poss. He takes it down the right side. Cabanis has come back in for Georgia. Coach Red Lawson believes he's got a gamble with him now. An outside shot by Hartsfield, no good. Beck gets the rebound. A foul is called on Georgia under their... Hold it on. It's Kentucky. It is on Ed Beck. And so now Beck with 4 personals, and we're going to get relief for him. Don Mills checks off the Kentucky bench and heads for the scorers table, and the game's going to be held up. Mills slipped and almost fell, went down to one hand as Beck comes out for the first time. Mills, the second Wildcat substitute, a 20-year-old sophomore from Berea, stands 6'7", weighs 190. The number 8 score with 36 points, a 3.3 average. The free throw is missed by Georgia's Bill Inslee, his first try tonight, and Kentucky gets the rebound. Atkins brings it in front court, has it taken away from him, and moving in, Georgia's got a gimme free throw. Field goal, rather. It's dropped in by Edmondson, his 5th one of the ball game, and Georgia moves to within 13 points at 59-46. It goes into the left corner to Johnny Cox of Kentucky. He moves up the side, passes deep to Vernon Hatton. Mills in the pivot now. Here it is over to Cox, and a foul is called. Let's see who it's against. It's on Kentucky. Johnny Cox, we believe. And for Johnny Cox, that's personal foul number 3. Kentucky's got 2 men, Beck and Smith, neither in the game with 4 personals. Georgia has got Cabanis in the game with 4 personals. Cats have committed 4 in this half. Bonus rule not in effect. The free throw by Edmondson is good. So the score stands Kentucky 59, Georgia 47. We got 7 minutes to play. Vernon Hatton in front court works the right side to Krigler. Back to Hatton, who walked with it. Krigler gave Hatton a pass that he couldn't handle. It was a little bit too hard. Went through his hands, and he carried it a step and a half, hung up on his chest. Now Hartsfield down the right side gets open from 15 feet and misses, overshoots the basket. Cox takes it off. Fires up the way to Earl Atkins, who moves over the center stripe. Inslee stopped to try to get a collision with Atkins. Atkins has the ball knocked away from him and out of bounds by Edmondson of Georgia. Kentucky keeps possession. 6.5 minutes to go. Atkins passing deep to Vernon Hatton. High pivot pass to Don Mills. He doesn't look at the basket. Shoots her off the left side to Cox. Whips under there to Atkins and Krigler. They fight over it, and it's knocked out of bounds. Goes to Kentucky. They say moving up between them. Poss of Georgia touched it last. Mills will put it in play. Kentucky leads Georgia 59-47 here in Atlanta. The pass is to Atkins, whips back in the pivot to Mills. He breaks to the right, goes under and misses. Rebounding Krigler is tied up with it as he comes off simultaneously with Inslee. Clock stopped with 6 minutes to go. Kentucky holds a 12-point edge. Georgia's outscored Kentucky here in the second half by 2 points. Krigler jumping with Inslee, giving Georgia 2 inches advantage, and the tap goes to Edmondson. Up into front court to George Poss, the 6'4" boy who's playing out at a guard actually right now. It's over to Hartsfield, back to Edmondson, a dancing fake. He can't get away from Hatton and drives, though, laying it in. As he went to the floor, Edmondson gets his 6th field goal and cuts the Kentucky lead to 10 points. Since the last Georgia timeout, they've outscored Kentucky 5-0. They called timeout with a score 44 rather. Here's a pivot pass going to Mills, hands off to Hatton. He fakes, breaks for the basket, and he is fouled across the arms by Don Hartsfield of Georgia. His first foul. That's 6 personals on Georgia in this half. That perhaps was a 2-shot foul anyway. We broadcast high above courtside here in Atlanta, unable to read the signals by the officials. Georgia's bringing Ray Allen back at a guard. Coming out of the contest is Edmondson, who seemed to twist an ankle on that collision in under the basket with Vernon Hatton, who is on the free throw line for the first time in the game. Shooting 2, first shot good. Hatton leads Kentucky with 15 points. 60-49 in favor of the Wildcats. 5:24 to go. Hatton's second shot's good. Kentucky 61, Georgia 49. Up into front court, Allen feeding over to Hartsfield, staying deep with it. Passing over now to Poss, back to Hartsfield. 3-man weave, breaking to the left side. Hartsfield gets a 10-foot jump shot that's no good. Mills taps it down on the floor. Georgia picks it up, and a shot by Cabanis is no good. Mills rebounds again, this time holds on to it. Passes up to Johnny Cox, moving in front court. 3-3 with Atkins and Hatton. Passes out deep to Krigler. Krigler gives over to Atkins. He fakes, breaks to the right, gets a screen, goes up, and missed it. Taking it off is Georgia. Inslee takes it off. They got a 2-on-1 against Hatton. Mills races in to try to help, and Mills does help. Knocks it out of bounds away from Hartsfield. 4 minutes, 43 seconds to play here in Atlanta. Score stands Kentucky 61, Georgia 49. Pass comes in to Poss. Outside Ray Allen, a fake. Drive down the baseline to the left, and as he shoots no good, he stepped on the baseline anyway, and it's out of bounds to Kentucky. Atkins passing into Vernon Hatton. Moving it up into front court, trying for win number 13 of the season. They're 6th in the conference play. Here's Atkins outside. 30-foot set shot, and it's good. Earl Atkins has come through with a great relief job here once again tonight. He's got 12 points in this second half as Kentucky leads by 14, exactly what they had at the half. Here's a shot missed by Georgia's Bill Inslee, and Krigler rebounds and is fouled by Georgia's George Poss, his second personal. We're getting a Georgia change. Joe DeFore is coming into the ball game for the first time. Coming out is Poss, who just committed the personal, the 7th on Georgia in this half, and the bonus rule is into effect. Capital D-E, capital F-O-O-R, 20-year-old junior from Decatur, Joe DeFore. He's 6'2", weighs 175. As Krigler hits the free throw, he gets the bonus shot. First bonus free throw of the second half. Kentucky had one and hit one in the first half. So Krigler's bonus try is also good, and Kentucky's out in front 65-49 as Georgia takes its last timeout without penalty of the first of the ball game. We have 4 minutes and 9 seconds to play, and Georgia has made a great scrap of it here tonight. Kentucky pulled into a 38-24 lead at halftime, and Georgia has twice been able to come to within 5 points of them. Kentucky took charge early in this game when they went out in front by 6-0, and they have held a comfortable lead throughout much of the ball game, except, of course, on the 2 occasions in the second half when Georgia was able to move back to within 5 points. Kentucky has been led in this half entirely by Earl Atkins, who has scored 12 points. Kentucky has scored 27 points in this half, so Atkins is right close to having half of them. Hatton has 6 of them, a total of 16. He's Kentucky's leading scorer. In this half, Beck has 3, Cox has 2, and Krigler has 4. It's Georgia's ball under the Kentucky basket as we go back to play now. Moving back up to the front court now, the Bulldogs go to the attack as Allen gives over to Hartsfield. He takes Atkins to the right, gets a screen from Inslee. Mills switches on him. The pass comes outside, and the jump shot by Allen is no good with a foul on the play. It is against Atkins of Kentucky. It's his 3rd one. Bonus rule not yet into effect. It's going to be a 2-shot foul anyway. So Ray Allen stands in the Georgia free throw line with 2 charity tosses coming. 3 minutes and 57 seconds to play. Georgia trails 65-49. Here's the first shot, good. The first one in 2 for Ray Allen. Now here's his second try. The bonus rule will now be into effect against each team. Allen's second shot is good. So the score stands Kentucky 65, Georgia 51. The Bulldogs are going to try for a full court press, we believe, but Kentucky moved it so rapidly on them. Atkins in front court with it now, gives a high pivot pass to Mills, back to Atkins. He goes in wide open and lays it in. Atkins driving right down the middle for his 5th field goal and 14th point of this half. Kentucky leads 67-51. Up into front court now. Here's the pass out to Inslee. Kentucky's gotten tremendous points out of their guards tonight. 16 by Hatton, 12 by Smith, and now we have 14 for Atkins. Up in the front court's Johnny Cox after cutting off a pass under the Georgia basket. Off the left side, a high lob pass to Hatton, to Mills, under the basket. He hooks high and no good. Cox rebounds and has it taken away from him by Georgia's Cabanis. Over to Hartsfield, who brings it in front court. Gives to Cabanis down the left side to DeFore, who breaks for the basket. Krigler blocks the shot. Mills knocks it out of bounds under the Georgia basket to the Bulldogs. 3 minutes to go here in Atlanta. Coach Adolph Rupp comes up off the Kentucky bench. The ball has gone out of bounds to Kentucky. They had to call the Cats out twice to get him. Here's Atkins, a high pass to Krigler in front court, sets a 3-1 situation up, and Krigler takes a 15-footer that's no good. Mills taps it down. Hatton gets it. He tries a shot, and he's fouled on it. Drawing the personal is Inslee of Georgia, and he's got 4. Into the Kentucky lineup for the first time tonight is Bill Smith, the 21-year-old senior from Walton, replacing Johnny Cox. Smith at 6'5", weighs 213. He's the only one of the 14 Wildcats who has not scored a point this year. Vernon Hatton, with 2 shots coming, stands at the Kentucky free throw line, shoots and hits. So he has another one coming. 17 points for Hatton. He came into the game with an average of 15 3/4. And here's his second shot. It's good. Cats 69, Bulldogs 51. Up in the front court, Allen faking, driving on Hatton, who blocked his shot, picked up by Georgia. DeFore shooting, no good. Tapped up into the air. Bill Smith's got it for Kentucky. Over to Earl Atkins, brings it in front court, down the left side, out to the 3-second zone. Tried to get a pass in there, couldn't. Over to Hatton, and from 20 feet, it's good. Vernon Hatton has 8 field goals. He leads in that department, and Kentucky leads for the first time by 20 points. 71-51. That's right at that score that shot up on the board Monday night. Here's a steal by Hatton, but he walks with it. It's out of bounds to Georgia with 2 minutes, 10 seconds to go. The final score Monday night, which was still on the boards when we came in the Coliseum here tonight, a little after 6 o'clock, 71-52. And it's 71-51 right now, but by golly, it looks good to see it the other way around. Here's Ray Allen of Georgia, pumping up from 20 feet and missing. It's off the back of the rim to Krigler of Kentucky. Krigler and Hatton, the only 2 starters left in the lineup. Cox has been taken out. Beck and Smith each committed 4 personals. Krigler in front court on the right side, passing to Atkins as Kentucky sets it up. Don Mills breaks out, gets the pass in the 3-second zone. Back to Atkins, goes under the basket and walks with it, and it's out of bounds to Georgia. It's a minute and a half to play. We're here in Atlanta tonight, playing about 75 miles away from the Athens campus. Up in the front court, pass on the right side. DeFore shoots one up there that's no good. Rebounding, wide open under the basket. Cabanis lays in his 4th field goal, 2 in each half. Kentucky leads 71-53. Mills, getting it and dropping it out of bounds under the Kentucky basket. 1 minute, 12 seconds to play. Clock on the move. Allen of Georgia moving back over the center stripe against Vernon Hatton, takes him down to the left side, breaks for the basket and lays it in. Allen's third field goal. 1 minute to play. Kentucky leading. Timeout taken by Coach Adolph Rupp, though. Kentucky has called 3 times out here tonight, and we're getting Lowell Hughes making his first appearance on this road trip along with Abe Collinsworth. Lowell Hughes, 19-year-old sophomore from Prestonsburg, stands 6 feet, weighs 185. He's the number 10 scorer with 16 points, but he's got a very healthy average of 4 points a game. He had 2 nights where he got 6 against Utah State and LSU. And Collinsworth, coming in to replace him, is a 21-year-old senior from Salyersville who stands 6'3", weighs 190. Abe is the 11th scorer with 7 points, an average of .8 a game. He's had 3 games in which he scored 2 points, LSU, Tulane, and Monday against Georgia Tech. So the score is 71-55 as Coach Adolph Rupp breaks up his starting combination now. And none of the starters are left in. Atkins will be at a guard along with Lowell Hughes. Don Mills will be at pivot. And we're going to have Bill Smith at a forward along with Collinsworth. Lowell Hughes, quarterback of the football team, is out of bounds. Passes to Atkins. Back to Hughes in front court. Double team. Shoots one to Mills in the pivot. Knocked down. He picks it up and shoots short. Mills rebounding. Beautifully lays it up, and it's no good again. Tapped by Mills, no good. Taken out by Collinsworth. Fights outside with it. Turns. We got 45 seconds to play. Gives to Smith. Back to Mills in the pivot. A one-bounce dribble. He comes out with a hook, and it's good. Foul on the play. The goal counts. Don Mills hooking for his first field goal of the night. The official score blows the horn to find out who the personal is. Let's see, it's Hartsfield drawing his second one. Don Mills has a free throw coming. It's good. So Mills makes a 3-point trip out of it, and the Cats lead by 19 points. Score is 74-55. Into the Georgia lineup. Front court, Bill Smith gets a pass, knocks it down, takes it, fires over to Lowell Hughes, to Collinsworth, rather. He has it knocked down, still in back court. High pass comes up to Lowell Hughes now, moves over the center stripe with 20 seconds to go. Gives one to Bill Smith to the right, back to Hughes. 20-foot jump shot's no good. Smith knocks it down and out of bounds, and Georgia takes over. Kentucky 74, Georgia 55. Clock stopped with 13 seconds on it as the ball rolled back over near the concrete retaining wall in this arena, which has quite a few feet from the floor to the first seat. The pass is into Hartsfield, and he moves in front court for Georgia as the last seconds of this contest tick off. Down to 6. The ball taken away by Lowell Hughes. Shoots one up to Collinsworth. Looks at the clock. 2 seconds to go, and he wildly shoots it up there. No good. Collinsworth had a gimme shot, but he had to take it falling off balance to the left about 15 feet. Didn't make it, and the final score on the board shows Kentucky 74, Georgia 55, and we'll have individual scoring in just a moment. Man for man, a basketball team on defense has got to keep the other team covered. Let a single man get free, and a score is the result. When lubrication for your automobile is due, you're like the basketball team on defense. You've got to be sure everything's covered. One oversight and friction or damage can score. Make your defense airtight. See your Standard Oil dealer for Kaiso lubrication. He keeps an active file of lube charts for every make and model of automobile. There's no guesswork. His Kaiso lubrication is tailor-made to the requirements of your car. The top quality Standard Oil lubricants he uses give you smooth, long-running protection without a bobble. Put up a defense that friction can't penetrate. Make a date for Kaiso lubrication with your Standard Oil dealer today. Here's the Kentucky scoring tonight. Vernon Hatton finished up with 20 points. It gives him a total of 32 on this 3-game road trip that's now 2 games old. Hatton had 8 field goals and 4 free throws. He had 10 points in each half, as a matter of fact. Kentucky also got fine second-half play from Earl Atkins tonight, who picked up 14 points in the second half, 5 field goals and 4 free throws. He came in to relieve Adrian Smith, who committed 4 personal fouls. Atkins with 14 points. Adrian Smith, who had a lot of trouble with personal fouls and played less than 3 minutes of the second half when picked up his 4th one, did get 12 points, though, in the first half, 5 field goals and 2 out of 4 on the free throw line. Johnny Cox just did make it into double figures tonight with 10 points on 5 field goals. So that gives Cox only 17 points in these 2 games here in Georgia. Ed Beck tonight was again above his average as he picked up 8 points. Like Johnny Cox, he got 17 points on these 2 Georgia games. However, Beck had a 4.8 average and Cox had a 14.9 average going into this game. The other starter, John Krigler, tonight was off once again, held to just 7 points, 2 field goals and 3 for 4 at the free throw line. And Don Mills, the other Wildcat to score, got 3 points, a field goal and a free throw. Lowell Hughes, who played less than a minute, did not score. And also Abe Collinsworth and Bill Smith didn't score, but were in the ball game. For Georgia, Bill Inslee contributed 14 points on 7 field goals, and he missed his only free throw try. And guard Fred Edmondson also picked up 14 points on 6 field goals and 2 out of 4 at the free throw line. We had 12 points for Captain Henry Cabanis on 4 field goals and 4 for 5 at the free throw line. 8 points for Ray Allen, 3 field goals, 2 out of 3 on the free throw line. Then with 3 points, there's George Poss, a field goal and 1 for 3 at the free throw line in the first half. 2 points for substitute Earl Tidwell, who did not play in the second half. He got a pair of free throws for his 2 points. And Don Hartsfield got 2 points on 1 field goal. Georgia had only Joe DeFore in the ball game, who didn't score. So that's the story on the contest. Kentucky led by a score of 38-24 at halftime, and they outscored Georgia by just 5 points in the second half as they won by 19. 74-55. They won tonight by the margin they lost by Monday night.